Hello, everybody. I will be with you very shortly. I'm just getting my coffee and all of my various cables out of the way. How is everyone today? I should probably pull up the chat so I can see how you answer. So I can see how you answer these questions, these burning questions that I have. What is that? Sorry, here we go. Here we go. Go to here. Too many computers. Oh, I did the DStat Think Noodles PC delivery service today. I think she was quite freaking happy, I'd say. I would say that our little tech bandit is very content now that she's got herself a PC, thanks to DStat. Thank you, DStat, by the way. Now, I can't hear what's going on. I'm hoping. Testing. One, two, three. Oh boy, I just spilled coffee everywhere. Ah, oh, damn it. I kind of might have just did. Okay, let's do this. I think that's safe for the time being. I'm going to go to here. If I turn this on. Hello, hello. Still in lockdown but alive, says Bronze Scale. Very good. Do we have audio? Let's have a little listen. See here. Okay, I'm talking now. Am I gonna get a nasty echo? Probably not. Probably not, because I'm not hearing nothing right now. Yeah, just be napping with that in the background. What have you just walked in on? Who knows? Who knows what you've just walked in on? Okay, let's go have a look and see what we're doing here. So we're probably, I'm guessing, going to want to go through camera 3 audio. Is that going to give us some stuff to listen to? How's that? Jaspin Mir, thank you very much. Oh, wow. That's good to hear, Malve. You got an echo? All right, hang on a sec. Let me turn that off then. Is that better now? Less echo now? Or lots of echo? 'Tis the question. I, of course, can't hear anything. Lots of echo, still lots of echo, still echo. An echo that sounds kind of cool. What if I... Let me try this. Does that stop the echo? Nope, not less echo. All right, yes. Kind of godlike. Oh, I like that. Perfect. That sounds good. Okay, I can't actually hear it for some reason. Why can I not hear it? I cannot hear it because, of course, I can't hear it because I'm not actually on that computer. I'm on this computer. Let's have a listen. I'm just gonna. You're gonna get an echo for a second, just while I listen to this. See if we actually if I get to listen to this at all. Which I'm not actually, surprisingly enough. I was hoping I could hear what's going on. It seems I can't. I can see what's going on in that I can see that there's audio going. I may have turned off my headphones instead of turning them on. As possible. How's that? Oh, there you go. So now I can sort of hear what's going on. I see. So when I had this on as well, that's when I got the echo. And that is now without it. All right, so I got that. I do have the mic turned right up. It's weird that it's so low. But let me see what I can do. Let's turn up the hardware out. Which one's that one? Is that A or B? All right. If I turn up this one. Oh yeah. Is that a little better for people? Nice and loud. Hopefully not too loud. I don't think I'm going to be doing... Oh,
someone is at the front door.
That is a doorbell. What do you think of that? Slightly better. Nice and loud now. Okay, great. All right. And who do we have? What evil do we have amiss in our little thing? Why is it unstable? It says I've got an unstable connection. That's odd. Very odd. So how is everybody doing? We are spot on for sound. I unfortunately have to hear my own voice. And now we've got to figure out how you can see me. I want to do that. All right, so let's go over here. I've got it all set up, so it should work slightly better than it has in the past. All right. I say that every time I set it up, it always seems to unset itself every time I shut everything down. All this combination of hardware, software, nerdiness in general. Like right now, oh, I don't want that. Oh yeah, Baz, don't tell Baz I forgot. I forgot to turn on the Streamlabs thing. Don't tell him. Don't tell him I forgot. I'm going to turn it on right now. If I can get my mouse to work. All right, come on, little mouse. Little mouse, come help me. Come help me. I want to go to Streamlabs. How do I do that? Where do I find my Streamlabs? Somewhere in here. I should probably put it in my list of things to, in my helpful, very close Streamlabs. Okay, put that in my docking right there. And I can't get it wrong then. Okay. Oh, it's downloading a new version. Oh, okay. So we're updating too. Ironham. Oh, damn it. You're supposed to be at school. Don't listen to this. I was going to talk about you. And then I'll get some video. I wish I knew what you were seeing right now. All I see is the Donut of Destiny. That's no Donut of Destiny. It's a Stargate. It's a Stargate squirrel cam. You don't see any squirrels? Hello, Rodrone. Nice to finally talk to you. Nice to talk to you too. Of course, I'm just installing, maybe a few minutes apparently, as it tries to install my new Streamlabs OBS stuff. What I want to do is do what my son tells me, which allows us, his big thing is, he's got me on this donations thing. He's like, you got the donations and the people will see when it's on and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Nanorm. I love it. It's so much fun to say. What if I do this? If I do this, can I do this sharing of the multicam windows? Oh, I'll create a scene projector. I like the sound of that. And I'll move that scene projector over here. I will go full screen. Ooh. It's kind of neat. I've got like a bit of a whine back from that. Okay, so we've got some cameras. Don't know where all the cameras are for that matter. All right, let's talk to you. Let's get some video on the subject here. Let's get some horrid video of the man himself. The man, the mystery, the disaster at streaming and Streamlabs and parenting, as the case may be, as my son will, I'm sure, tell you. Let's go to camera 2. Hello. I know, that's far more exciting than a little Stargate squirrel cam, isn't it? Ooh, that's weird. People phoning me. Turn it off. Never answer the phone. Beware of your ears in case you also update the Avast database. What's that? Hello, David, says PacMom. How are you, PacMom? Lovely PacMom. It's a wild David beast. It is a bit, let me tell you. I did shower today, just so everyone knows. Scott Sterling, McBones. McBones, I love it. I was always a bit of a McBones. McKay was always a bit of a Bones. Oh, your setup has gotten fancier since last time I tuned. Is it Jasmine Mirror? I don't think I've bought anything. I think I've just been reconfiguring stuff. Although I have bought a few switches. So I have a USB switch that allows me to share my glorious Razer glowing keyboard, which I still haven't figured out. And I can share that between my Mac and the PC, although I get very confused because it's a Windows keyboard. But the advantage being is that I can have both systems going and my Blackmagic. The Blackmagic allows me to basically have both of my computers crash, which they do, and it still seems to stream. So it does say unstable stream though, which is a very odd thing to hear. It's a stream health, and it says that it's unstable. Is it seeming? It doesn't seem unstable to me. I see myself waving around. I see my little lights flashing at every word. It gives me a sense of power that I really like. The Razer. What? The way to waste your money like Apple, but with Windows. That's so true, Evolution. But here's the deal, Evolution. When you're dealing with the tech bandits, you gotta go with the unicorn vomit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you can make it glow, make it glow. It's oh God, I almost want to start singing, but of course I won't because I'm just not that kind of person. Let it glow, let it glow. Yeah. I get unstable stream when bad broadband or bad CPU, but I see you utterly perfectly. Webby Web loves the Webby Web loves the unicorn vomit too. So I think we can all agree to disagree on that one. Okay, where am I here? It's got to be bright. It's got to be rainbow. That's what I'm saying. That's what I want my tech bandits. I want them bright and rainbow. So this is an interesting thing that happens, and Baz is going to be thoroughly embarrassed by this, but I'm going to say it anyways. So the joy of social media is that you're having a great time. You go, hey, buddy, get over here. And you take a nice snapshot and it's all happy, joy, joy. And oh my God, he's the best dad. And look at him on social media and how amazing he is and how happy everybody is. And oh, I wish I had that life. You know, here's the thing. If I saw my stream, I would be jealous, frankly. But the reality is, like today, and like many days, Baz and I sort of went head to head. I lost my temper, as I always do. I went McKay. Kind of, did I go full McKay Ironham? I don't know if I did or not. And it was just about, it wasn't really Baz's fault so much. The initial problem wasn't exactly Baz's fault. The problem I felt was that at 13 or 12 or 11 or 10 or whatever age I ended up yelling at him, I felt that there's this kind of learned helplessness. This is kind of like, it didn't work, I give up. And that was the black box mentality towards technology that I sought to fix with Tech Bandits. The idea of getting, yes, full McKay, says I'm Ironham. I'm sorry, Ironham. I won't go into intimate details. I guess what I want to say is I want to sort of own up and make it apparent to people that, it's not all roses, this stuff. I mean, living with me and living with you, especially during a pandemic, I guess, we can have arguments about stuff. And I guess the issue that I had today was something that I think I was guilty of as a kid as well, which was just like, well, out of my control, what can I do? And I just felt that, like I said to Baz, I said, your biggest mistake was showing me that you're not an idiot. Because if you were an idiot, I could just go like, oh, like I said, here, take this nice pork bone and go gnaw it in the corner like a good kid. And, and I'd be happy, he'd be happy. The reality is he's not an idiot. He's luckily inherited his mom's brain. And so I feel that I expect a lot from him. And I seem to have two modes. I have like angry mode and happy mode. And I remember this with my dad growing up. My dad was always a bit of a sense of ticking time bombs. You never knew when, is he going to be in a good mood? Is he going to be in a bad mood? And it becomes very, without meaning to, it becomes very controlling because your sort of the mood is set by what mood dad is when he comes home and stuff. And I love my dad very much, by the way, and I think he's an absolutely fantastic dad. But you always end up looking at how you were raised and how could you sort of iterate? How could you improve on that somewhat? And one of the things I really didn't want for Baz growing up was that feeling of like, is he going to get mad? Is he going to laugh? Is he going to, but I don't know how to, I don't know how to fix that. Like, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I mean, I have lots of, medication stuff that I take for various different things from depression to anxiety, all ADHD. There's a ton of stuff that I could be taking, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. And the whole point is to try to get to this level where you are productive without being manic, where you can be down about things without being like suicidal, and anxious about the things that you have some control over and not about things that you don't. So there's quite a combination of things going on there. And I see it in my father. My father's a generation that doesn't accept psychiatry, doesn't accept psychology, or even chiropractic for that matter. He's very, very old school, and this is not something you can talk about with him. But I did want it to be something that I could talk about with Baz. Baz, so far, from what I see, seems to be managing very well with everything. We talk about a lot of stuff when we can. Some stuff's more difficult than others, obviously, because dad and kids and stuff. But, I'm not seeing that same manic, depressive stuff that I had when I was a kid. I just see a smart kid who gets frustrated with his dad, and and what's really nice about it is, unlike when I grew up, where it was like once there was anger, there was silence. Now there's anger, and then there's discussion, and that makes a huge difference. And I'm really, I got to say it. I'm Iron Ham about this, Bratlet, that I'm nervous about this PC, this gaming PC being in his room, because I feel like it's a distraction that's very. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't resist it. Look, I have a room full of toys. I'm distracted all the time. It's so much to the extent that I forget to talk into the microphone. Anyways, you're aware of it. You want to fix it. You try to fix it. That does it for me. Great. Paperclips, you're adopted. Perfect. I'm going to claim that I raised Paperclips and did a fantastic job of it. Roadrone. Parents do set a barrier between friend and parent. Yes, I always said I don't want to be my kid's friend. I don't want to be like hanging out, getting stoned with my son and teenage son and stuff. I just feel like there's a line there. I did talk about that as well. I feel like if he can wait until he's in his 20s to try all that silly stuff, that he should, because his brain wasn't finished developing. So I'm by no means condoning that. But I think, yeah, I think there needs to be a difference between friendship and parents. I mean, there needs to be a certain level of, I hope, respect. I give it up on that already. It's a difficult one, because I look back on my parents, and they were 21 to 23 when they had me. Like, oh my God, like, talk about not having a freaking clue. I mean, I was 40 when Baz was born. I still didn't have a clue. I still, like, where's the manual? Do I get a manual with this? Like, is there some kind of what if I don't like it? Can I take it back later? So Ruby K, what did Ruby K say? Pac Mom says, David, this is normal. Parenting is a constant balancing act. Good days, bad days, all part of, and mostly despite everything, they turn out fine. Well, that's good to know. I'm the terrible example, because Baz keeps going like, well, what? You were miserable and did terrible in school, didn't listen to your dad, ran away, got kicked out, and you did fine. So it's kind of hard to be the example. I go, yeah, but look at your mother. She's much better. She got me. So it's interesting that way. I think my favorite quote about parenting is it's managing guilt and fear, and it's constantly fighting that. I would say maybe you should add anger to that. It's like constantly managing McKay and guilt and fear. That's basically where I'm at with parenting at this point. Thank you, Ruby K. What did Ruby K say that was brilliant? Oh, thank you, Rhiannon. Rhiannon, very kind of you. Oh, I've got Streamlabs open now. Does that mean I can see what's going on? I can see people following and stuff. Is that right? Can I make this window bigger? Because right now it's like one line. I can't see what's going on. I think I can see things in the mini feed now. 6 minutes ago, is that Craig? Did you follow me 6 minutes ago? Thank you. And the Big Alute, and Steve Howe, and Oblong Snake, and Jonas. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. 8 hours ago, a little late, Yuka followed us. But anyways, let me go back to this chat, see what's going on. I am Iron Ham. That's proof that you are not old enough. Where we go. Your job is to teach him how to be a functional adult. You'll have time to be his friend when he's grown up. Oh, I don't know about that. I guess maybe. My grandparents grew up in the Depression in the 1920s. If there's mold on it, it's still edible. Yeah, my dad was pretty much like that too, because my dad came from quite they were not well off. My dad's family. My mother's family was very well off, but my dad's family was not. World Builder and Dog says, McKay pretty much raised me. I'm so sorry, World Builder and Dog. I would not want to be raised by McKay. I will never do drugs. It's very good, Baz. Very good. I appreciate that. I've never been a big fan of them myself. So PCs are a double-edged blade. So good for productivity, yet so easy to procrastinate. No, that's it. There's, especially for my focus abilities or lack thereof, it's crazy. It's crazy how much there is to do. Baz, now that I've got that in writing, I'm going to put that. You got that in writing now. You got to it's a social contract with the world. Hello, Stargate girl Sophie. I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome back. You never have a clue on how to raise your kids. I've had three. I thought the third one I'd have it down. So wrong. I still have no clue. Oh, good. So so I'm not alone on this stuff, at least. Um, and oh, Gamer Chick, thank you very much. Or Chike, is it Gamer? I feel like it should be Gamer Chick. Um, subscribe for 1 month, and you've been subscribed for 5 months. Thank you. Gamer Chick says, "Good morning." Clink the coffee cups. Good. There you go. I'll do that. Clink. Can I do that? There you go. Clink the thing. We're in a hype train already. Oh my god! Thank you very much. Cheers to 5 months, indeed. Ruby K says, "My mom was a disaster when she was younger. Drugs, running away, teenage pregnancy. She couldn't lead by example, but she led by being honest about her past. It taught me a lot. It made it so I never wanted to run away or do drugs to rebel. Haha." That's great. I mean, I think that's it. I think you need to own up to the mistakes you make within reason to your kid. I mean, Baz knows how I feel about my high school education. But I used to blame myself entirely for that. And I still take a fair, like a lion's share of the blame in not getting through high school. But I also believe that the system was and continues to be broken that way. Like, I feel like, you know, if you find things you're excited about, if you find things that inspire you, then if you have that ability to find that, then it's a lifelong learning process. It's amazing. I mean, I learned far more. I was talking to an old girlfriend of mine a little while ago, which I don't normally do, by the way, but had a nice chat with her, caught up with her after many years, and we were talking about how, you know, I was quite young when we first met, and I was obsessed with learning. Not necessarily stuff that I was interested in, just stuff that would present myself as not an idiot to other people in my mind. And then when I eventually learned to stop trying to be cool and just focus on, you know, doing, you know, being interested in what I was interested in, and not worrying so much about what people thought, it was just, God, it was amazing, because all of a sudden you go, hey, yeah, it's geeky to, you know, make chairs out of old Stargate, you know, props and things, you know, as a grown man. Who cares? You know, I mean, like, it's I'm a nerd. I'm embracing it. I'm enjoying it. And also, the great thing about having a kid, I mean, specifically, I would have to say I'm very lucky with Sebastian. I think a lot of this is nature rather than nurture. He was born a great kid and has continued to be a great kid. And I'm not just saying that in the off chance that he's still listening, which he shouldn't be, because he's supposed to be at school. You know, I was very lucky that way. But one of the big things I've said to him growing up was look, just if there's a way of being, you know, aware of other people and making sure that you are, you know, sympathetic towards them, but at the same time not being held back because of what they think about things, you know. It was something, my father was always very embarrassing to me, because he always wore whatever he felt like, and you know, if he had a problem with something, he would say it, no matter how embarrassing it was to the rest of the family. And I gotta say, I really respect that. You know, and I'm nowhere near as good as that. I'm far too diplomatic by that. What did Ruby K say? My niece said last year that she would never ever want piercings in response to me piercing my lips. Wow, see, I couldn't pierce my lips. I think I'd catch them on things. So we made a bet. And if she doesn't want any weird piercings by the time she's 18, then I owe her $5. Get that $5 ready. It is Chick. Oh, good. So Gamer Chick, it is Gamer Chick. All right. Adekalas, thank you very much. Gifting 5 tier 1 subs. Oh my gosh. And you've gifted 7. Oh, thank you very much. Wow. That's some crazy generosity right there. And speaking of crazy generosity, guess what I did today? So today I packed up a big orange Rover, which I used to drive. Basically, it's a cart. I'd pull this little cart, or wheel it to school for the Tech Bandits when we were doing live sessions at the local school. It's all online now. I think I might keep it online because I quite like it. I mean, I have the kids when we're allowed to. I'll have the kids around, and we'll use the Bat Cave and stuff for working on some of the more messy stuff, like the CNC. Thank you, Jonathan. So I got a couple of thank yous here. I should obviously thank you, Jonathan MLH, for this amazing CNC, which I've got to build out in in the garage when it's not too freezing cold. And DStat. DStat, we were doing a stream a little while ago, actually a long while ago. And one of our tech bandits was sort of lamenting this feeling of guilt about, she wanted to ask her parents about a PC for gaming and for school and for sort of being a part of this whole tech bandit stuff. But she was a bit nervous because she knew that her parents were, a little, they were not in a big spending mode, it being, the beginning of the year and all. And they very, very kindly, DStat swooped in and dropped like $1,500 for me to go and buy the parts and build her this PC. But I didn't want to build it. I wanted her to build it because I thought that was the most important part of this thing, is to have that feeling of accomplishment. So today I opened the Batcave. I wheeled out my little orange Rover full of cases and components, all of which we streamed the other day, me putting together and testing, except the case. We didn't bother with the case. That's her problem. So delivered that today, and she was really excited. There's her and the family are at the door with all in their pajamas and all excited about this madman who's just delivered a bunch of stuff in the freezing cold. It was freaking cold too. Anyways, so that was just a great experience, and I have to really thank DStat for doing that. I just think it's a great process and great process. It was a very generous gift on his part. DStat does a lot of internet marketing stuff. Just very, very much appreciate his help since the beginning, really. Anyway, so the idea that she can make this PC, I think, is something that's going to stay with her, I hope. Even if it's a miserable process, even that'll stay with her. At least she's going to have a basic understanding of the computer she's using when things go wrong. Because they're always going to go wrong when you're dealing with a Windows PC, or any PC for that matter. So I'm really excited to see how she does with that. And working on recruiting her little sister into the Tech Bandits as well. Because she's getting to the age, of course I wouldn't put the two of them in the same room. There'd be like fights would break out. But so really excited about that. So Raccoon Noodles has all that stuff, and we'll be building that. I'm sure I'll get lots of calls and texts about it as we do it. But I was close enough that I could sort of wheel it off in a little walk and drop it off, and then there's no extra COVID potential in there. I just got everything out there. So I'm kind of excited to see what she makes of that process. But I suddenly went, wait a second. I could basically say now, come join the Tech Bandits as a kid. Learn about science, technology, engineering, arts, and math with this crazy guy from Stargate. And you could win. You could win a gaming PC because someone did, basically. I just, I think it could be a great way to bribe kids into actually learning something. What's up with World Builder? I had something gone. My dad was always there, and now I know I was a crappy son. Well, here's the deal, World Builder and Dog. I learned that too. And the only way to learn what miserable sons and daughters we were to our parents is to have a kid. And you have a kid and you realize just how much work it was. And you can't beat yourself up about it, although I do all the time. I mean, I called my dad within 6 months of Baz being born and just said, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I had no idea how stressed you were. I had no idea how much it must have hurt to be away so long working to keep, what did we end up being? 4 kids. And then we had 2 stepkids. I mean, Jesus, to keep us all in school and food and clothing and education was really important to my dad. And of course I just threw that back in his face. So now I feel all guilty, which I shouldn't. No, the point being is you don't know growing up. You don't know. So anyways, I had pierced ears. My father and I had a huge fight over ear piercings. I had to hide the fact that I had pierced ears from my father because he grew up in a generation that believed if you pierced your ears, you were instantly gay. That made you gay right away. And that was a terrible thing, apparently, that someone should think you were gay. So we had huge fights over this. I used to pierce my ears and re-pierce them every weekend for dances or parties and stuff. God, it was painful, miserable. I had lots of ice cubes and safety pins. I had, at one point, I think 3 earrings going in one ear and 2 in the other. Now I've just got these horrible scars. Anyways, I don't know how anyone does piercing on anything else in their body. I have no idea. I once worked as a bartender for one night at a charity event. I was asked to bartend, and I did it. Not for the money or anything. It was just a friend of mine had organized it and was stuck and didn't have a bartender. And I'd never done it before. And I said, look, as long as you don't mind me coming in and going, hi, I suck at this. Never done it before. I have no idea can't tell the difference between a Mai Tai and a Russian mule. Obviously, you don't even know what a Russian mule is, but white Russian mule, a white mule. Anyways, point being, obviously, I had no idea what I was talking about. But it was such an interesting experience because by the end of the night, you get a lot of very inebriated people and some not inebriated people who just feel that they want to talk to the bartender. And at one point, this guy and his girlfriend came up to talk about things, and piercings came up, and the two of them just started showing me bits of their anatomy that I would not normally, I wouldn't want to see in any circumstance because I'm too British, but that at the bar, literally pulling things out to show me what's being pierced and things, in a very weirdly non-creepy way, but because they were a couple together and I didn't feel, anyways, but it was a pretty wild experience for a little innocent like me at the time. I was probably about 18, and because you can drink at 18 here. And but it indelibly on my mind were all these piercings and stuff. And I just thought, there's too many things could go wrong there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I've hurt myself enough already. I don't need to have someone do it, pay someone to hurt me more. Dockless, thank you very much for your gifted tier 1 sub. Rodrone. Oh, Rodrone got himself a gifted sub. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Oh God, I hope no one had a PA. What's a PA? What's a PA, Evolution? It's okay. This isn't a kid stream. This is a allegedly grown-up stream. Yeah, Pac-Mom. It is odd, that weird sort of exhibitionist quality of people who want to show off their various piercings. But on the plus side, fridge magnets stick to you. Oh my God. See, there's too many unknowns involved in the piercings. Prince Albert. That's it. That's what they had. And I didn't know what that, I was 18. I had no idea what that meant. So yes, that's what this gentleman had, and that's what he flung out to show me on the bar, which is an interesting experience. We'll get the Tech Bandits logo done tonight after the Among Us games. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Andrew South. Now, what exactly are you doing with these logos? I couldn't quite tell from that image what that 3D thing was that you had created. Look, Ruby K, I got nothing against piercings at all. I'm just, look, I'm too squeamish. Like, I could faint at a needle, let alone, a piercing. I just, my desire to be cool and fashionable in my teenage years somehow overcome my fear of pain. And to be fair, I used a lot of ice. I was pretty frozen when I did my ears, although I can still feel that sensation. God, I mean, Jane has a nose piercing, which I've got to say I'd never really liked until I saw Jane, and it just really, it was just so Jane, if that makes sense. It was subtle, and it is subtle, and not showy, and just as beautiful as she is. So there you go. And that's an image I didn't need. You're welcome. I'll be back. Need to restart my PC. Oh, Krillin, you and us both. Baz, we got to figure out, if you're listening, which you shouldn't be. We got to figure out Baz's dual screen issues on League of Legends. Seems to be legendary. There's lots of tech support stuff about dual monitor issues with League of Legends. I'm sorry, the chat is paused due to me being really slow. I knew a guy who got a Prince Albert, and boy, did he regret it. Yeah, I don't think that's... no, James, I'm with you, buddy. I got no piercings. I got, if you count the earrings from when I was 14 or whatever, 16. But no tattoos. The problem with the tattoos is there's no image in my life that I would want on a wall forever, let alone on my body, as my body slowly, worked gave into gravity. What CNC are you going to be building with the Bandits? let's look that up on Tidy Tech. Let's look that up because I've got it right here. It's an open build. I wonder if I actually have. Let's have a look here. I may even have it in the. This is what Jonathan MLH has been very kind enough to provide us, and I have been miserable about getting to it. The problem is finding a place for it. I believe it's the lead machine. I believe it's the lead, which can I just share this one image? Can I do that? I'll put it over my face for a second. There you go. So that's the system we're looking at. But I wanted to get a large enough bed to start doing some furniture stuff with the kids because I felt that would be useful for doing some sort of volunteer help at this local school for kids with developmental and physical disabilities. Because the kids love building assistive tech. They love helping. They love the idea that what they're doing is going to help other kids, basically. And, McCordick's is wonderful school, absolutely wonderful school, which is basically the sort of the end of the road for most kids here. Like this is where they go when other schools just can't provide the level of attention and care that these kids require on a 24-hour basis. And the people who run that are freaking heroes, man. They're like superheroes. I absolutely love them. I love the school. And one of the things that they were working on was an apartment set. Like basically it's a movie set that it pretends to be an apartment but has all these working things in it that the kids can learn how to look after themselves in a safe and monitored environment. And one of the things they love apparently is having cameras all over it so that they can do replays to see how they did things. And they learn by looking at them. They enjoy that whole sort of feedback process. And I went, oh my God, this is my world. I mean, it's a bit of film, it's a bit of technology, a bit of building and DIY stuff. And my bandit kids are going to love this, which they were very excited about. But then of course there was a teacher strike, then there was a pandemic, and let's hope that let's hope that the beginning of next year we'll be able to get in there and actually do some stuff to help them out. But one of the things that I really want to do is build an adjustable laptop stand for these kids because they're using eye gaze technology because it's the only way they have no other way of communicating. And I really wanted to build them something that was adjustable because they've got multiple kids using the same laptop, the same lousy system that they can't afford to pay for. So they're using the free version, and it's kind of criminal. This is technology that can only be used for people who can't move. And it's thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars more than it would if you and I were just doing DIY stuff with it. And the free version is hobbled so it can't use the internet or more than a certain number of choices in the windows for these kids to use. But that's what they were using. And so I was like, okay, I gotta find some open source software. I gotta get these laptops sorted out. And then of course there's a freaking teacher strike and pandemics. But the hope is with this CNC is that we can build some really cool, hopefully kind of loud and obnoxious for the kids, projects that can help these kids out. So we're helping my kids out by them getting these maker skills and this DIY approach and this empathy towards other kids. And at the same time, we're actually working with these kids with developmental and physical disability and this wonderful staff of people that support them. And, it just seemed like a win-win for everybody. And I just freaking love it. So, Soliloquio, Jasper, that's a really good question. So I've been struggling with what to do with Soliloquio because I love the idea. I love everything it can be, but I have found that if I take time away from Tech Bandits, it all falls apart. And I really feel like Tech Bandits, I can accomplish more with Tech Bandits than I can do with Soliloquio right now. So, and I looked into funding so I could hire people and stuff. I've had some wonderful support from Harklight and a lot of offers from other people, but the problem is time. And I feel the time is better spent doing this Tech Bandit stuff right now. So I think I'm going to. Well, I was hoping to get something up so I can at least show off all these amazing performers, but then I think I'm gonna have to let it go because I just don't know. I think my time is better spent doing the Tech Bandit stuff because it's something that I've got in place that I'm doing all the time. And maybe this look if there's someone else who wants to run it, then by all means, please let me know and I let you run with it. I've got a domain name. I've got a bunch of people submitted. But it would I don't know how. The other thing, of course, is I feel like I have their trust. Like I have all these people have very, um, you know, very kindly shared these videos with me. Many people I don't know, and I just want to make sure that they're looked after and protected and all that kind of stuff. So I really have been stalling and panicking about what to do with that. This is one of the problems with ADHD. You have all these amazing ideas. It's a superpower that way. You can come up with the most amazing things to do, but you completely fail every time at figuring out how much time things take. I assumed I had in my mind I'd I'd tap away for a little bit in the morning and then I'd have all my Tech Bandit stuff done and newsletters and this and that. I mean, even just trying to get newsletters out on a regular basis for Tech Bandits, which I think is very valuable in the long run, is a struggle. And I think if I try to take on Soliloquio as well, I'm going to lose that. And I think this is the most. I think Tech Bandits and this whole stream approach to Tech Bandits is really what I should be focusing on because I feel like this can get more people like you all interested in this stuff, can get hopefully more kids. I mean, Wolf Pup joined us because of this stream. We've had a few people talking to us about how this has affected their kids, whether they are actually in the stream or just see or hear or read about the stuff we're doing. So it's pretty great. Who has ADHD? This guy. I totally understand what you're talking about. Yeah, who has ADHD? I don't know who. I've been diagnosed with it recently, so it's which has been great. I mean, I don't think anything's changed particularly, other than just this awareness that there are certain things I need to start. Well, one of the great things about it is that you don't have to beat yourself up. I mean, again, I want to take responsibility for the things that are my responsibility, and I have failed on numerous occasions to follow up on things that I should, and that's something I struggle with all the time. And as an actor, it's much easier because you are basically told where to go. You get an audition, you get an audition time, you get an audition deadline. If you don't do the audition, you don't get the part. Once you get the part, there's someone to tell you, there's someone to negotiate your deal for you. There's someone to, in my case now, take me to set in a car to make sure that I show up at the right time. Because I don't drive and I tend to get lost on the subway. I'm very McKay that way. I suck at maps. So, it's kind of the perfect job for somebody who sucks with the organizational skills. But once I get into Tech Bandits, this is all on me. I got to figure all this stuff out myself. So to the point where I'm literally, talking about micromanaging, I'm literally delivering PCs to kids. So it's to kids, to one kid in particular. But, this is where I fall apart. This is where I struggle to get my shit together because my scheduling skills suck. Jane is wonderful at it, but Jane's running our film company. So, I find with my ADHD, I need structure and rules and consequences. I missed that. Damn it. Shot by. ADHD and autism. Wow. And on the autism spectrum, I guess. Serious issues with too many things. Yeah. I mean, this is it. Look, I think I've said this before. I think everyone's on this spectrum of ADHD. I think everyone has a certain amount of distractedness to them, especially now with the phones and computers, and there's all these kids with the Wi-Fi's and the YouTubes. There's a lot of distractions out there. I think it's a nightmare for people with attention deficit issues at all, or even ones without them. Honestly, most people that I see when I'm out and about, they're on their phones constantly, usually doing things that probably they don't need to be doing right there. Hey, Hype Fox, how are you? All right. Let me see what else. What else do I have? So today, sometimes on Wednesdays I would do Tech Bandits, but this week I did one yesterday. I think I'm going to do my Game Bandits tomorrow, Thursday. Of course, Tech Bandits are welcome to pop into the voice into the not the voice chat, the stream chat. But I'm not gonna do the chatty stuff today. Um, so I will be talking Game Bandits tomorrow. So one of the things I've noticed with doing Tech Bandits and the value that I see in Tech Bandits and Game Bandits is that I'm perusing the webs, looking for things that I think the kids, I should stop saying kids because I never wanted to be called a kid when I was a kid, my bandits, a looking for topics that the bandits will find exciting. Oh, thank you. Wow, look at that emote. A pride heart. I love it. Oh, that's fantastic. He said, oh, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. How did that work? I don't know how that worked, but that's beautiful. Uh, Jonathan's Gamecast. Oh, fantastic. This is literally the first moment I realized this wasn't the regular Tuesday chat. Haha. What time is it anymore? I know. This is it. The scheduling. I mean, scheduling at the best of times I suck at, but during a pandemic, I'm truly awful. A wild wolf appears. Oh, really? I believe the ADHD, why you and Barnacles get along so well. Yeah, probably. Because Barnacles is, I mean, we're like brothers from another mother, frankly. Pride L. That's it, Band-Maid. I'm switching to my PC. Be right back. Go, Rodrone. Go. The Untidy Tech says, how does a doctor diagnose ADHD? There's a number of tests you can take. Excuse me. In fact, one of the, you've got to stop for coffee. It's the only time. I mean, that's the only thing that'll stop me talking, basically, is food or coffee. So the doc hands you a test to do. In my case, he printed it all out, handed it to me. I left that in the office and forgot to pick it up. Then I came back and picked it up. And then I didn't do it. And the next time I went in to see him like a year later, he said, what did you do with the test? I said, oh yeah, the test. I didn't do that. Could you print it out again? So he printed it out for me again. And this happened 3 or 4 times. And finally he said, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to get you to do this test. I really need you to do this test now because everything you've done thus far indicates to me that you have ADHD. I did the test. He said, yeah, you're through the roof on this stuff, basically. So when I say diagnosed, do you get a certificate or something? I mean, I don't know how it's supposed to work, but he's basically said, look, how do you want to deal with this? And I said, well, let me do some research. And I started watching this amazing YouTuber called How to ADHD. She's amazing, funny, smart, beautiful too, for that matter. It doesn't hurt. But just an absolutely fantastic, happy channel that she does. And I learned so much from that, How to ADHD. So definitely go and check her out. And that really, really helped. And the other thing that was some medication. So I have some medication now that helps me focus. And weirdly, it's sort of like coffee without the jitter, if that makes sense. So it's a weird kind of a thing. John the Deacon likes, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Frankly, even if you don't have ADHD, go and watch her channel because she's just fantastic. Beauty is skin deep. I know, Gamer Chip. I know. I'm just, I guess, sorry, I shouldn't really be commenting on that, should I? I guess my point was just that her whole countenance, everything about her is beautiful, if that makes sense. From her happiness to her honesty to her approach to ADHD. I sort of, I don't know, I guess as an old white guy, I tend to, old straight white guy, I say the wrong thing. And I shouldn't, I shouldn't be focusing on how people look. But it was a whole package thing. It was the way she presents herself, I just find beautiful. I think it's just a wonderful spirit that she has about stuff. I mean, that's basically. I went a little McKay on that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be saying things like that. Hey, Wolf Pup, how are ya? So Wolf Pup's one of our Tech Bandits has dropped in. Yeah, Wolf Pup. So I'm not actually doing a Tech Bandits today, but I'll do that tomorrow. We'll do a Game Bandits tomorrow. But you're welcome to be in here, obviously. But if you get bored, then don't let me know. Don't let me know if you get bored. Okay, what is it? Untidy Tech says, Ruby K, yeah, I know. I wasn't sure how to phrase it. Where's that, Ruby K? I'm looking up. Beware of expecting it to be a miracle. It helps a lot, but it's still work to be better. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're constantly working. Knowing the reason does make a huge difference, but it doesn't solve anything. I think what's nice about it is I think I always, because you take on this stuff yourself growing up, you sort of, you think, oh God, I'm lazy, I'm unfocused, I didn't do the things I'm supposed to do. And absolutely, I own up to all of those things and more. But the reality is, you have a condition which is both a superpower and it's a double-edged sword. It's a superpower. It's also super frustrating at times, and it leads to a lot of things. Like it could lead to depression. It could lead to anxiety. It could lead to a lot of these things because you're like, why the hell? Everyone else seems to be able to organize their lives and stick to things and find one thing that they love doing and go with it. One of the reasons why I do Tech Bandits as well is that it's another thing like acting that's like a different job every day. And I love that. Untidy Tech, thank you very much for the subscription. Barnacles! What are you up to, Barnacles? Have you been? Oh, you stream on Wednesdays? Are you? I don't want to stream while you're streaming. On the other channel I watch, she struggles with lateness all the time. Yeah. Well, what's funny is I don't. I am the opposite. I struggle with showing up 3 days early for things to do like a recon to make sure that I will be on time when it comes to the time I need to be there. Barnacles, if those of you who don't know, go follow Barnacles. He's fantastic. Anyone seen Cal today, by the way? Is Cal in the mix today? I should look for my, can I see who's on? Is there a way to do that? Oh, I just have not figured this stuff out. What have we got? I have no idea what's going on with it. I can never figure out this modding thing. Is that a mods thing? What does that do? Active mods. There you go. I can see the active mods. Oh, Ruby K, Cal, I am Ironham. They're all there. Very good. Hello, all. Ruby K, Cal is here. She's just being very quiet. Yeah, because she's trying to find the right time to throw in the insult that won't be too insulting about all this, like, mushy stuff I'm talking about, right? And Ruby K, I feel bad. I feel like I forget in my joy of making Cal's life misery. I sometimes forget to thank you for all of your modding as well, and I do very much appreciate that. Barnacles, is Barnacles in our chat? Can we actually say hi to Barnacles? Or is he? Are you not streaming, Barnacles? Is Barnacles not? Tommy's not feeling well. He misses your insults. Yeah, that's it. It's all good. All right, good. Somebody tip Barnacles that you're streaming on Twitter. Ah, there you go. Really? I think it might have been me that did that, Colin B. I think it was an auto host. Oh, is that how it works? Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's nice. Okay, mods are usually the best. I mod for friends, and it can be nuts. I don't know how people do it. Again, I think it takes organizational skills that I do not have, and lack of sleep that I do have. I probably am wrong. Untidy, I like that. I probably am wrong. All right. So gaming. Come on. I got to do Game Bandits tomorrow. And one of the things that I really enjoy is sort of researching the web, looking for things that can sort of inspire the kids, the bandits, and at the same time be of some sort of possible educational, or at least point them into a good rabbit hole to disappear down if they should they choose. Because I feel like at this point on our troubled sphere, if there's something you're interested in enough, you can find out anything you want to know about it. Absolutely anything. There really is. I mean, and if you don't think the kids are doing that, then you're crazy. I mean, that chat we had with Nate the other day, which you should totally check out his music and such, by the way. Talking to Nate about how, starting out being a musician in his tweens and the gaming and such, everything he needed to know was there. He just needed to be inspired to do it. And what I guess, maybe it's me just having validated what I say all the time, but which is that this didn't come from school. This came from his own passions, his own interests. And I feel like, why isn't school that? School should be, kids should be like, oh my God, school's over. That sucks. Because there's so much cool stuff going on, and I don't understand how we lose that. I just don't. I don't know how. I mean, they lost me. How did they lose me at school? I'm so excited about learning stuff, but I never made the connection between this kind of stuff that I love doing and the science, the boring shit that we were taught in school. Excuse me. Sorry, Wolf Pup. I gotta watch my language tonight. This is a grown up. This is a grown up stream. All right. That chat with Nate was incredible. It really was. The bandits asked a lot of great questions. They're very engaged. I know, well, because he's closer to their age than I'll ever be. I'm worried to try VR. I get motion sickness, runs in my family, and trying to find a headset that works well with corrective lenses. Yeah, lenses will be interesting because I haven't done it since I've had glasses. So a few tips that came up in that in the show notes that I had yesterday. I'll pull them back up again because there was some interesting stuff in that. Believe it or not, there was actually some interesting stuff. Is it in there? Oh my god, I have to hear my own noises. That's really not good. Okay, where would it have been? Techbandits.com. Wasn't it like something about the Oasis or something? Didn't I? I think it was called the Oasis or something. That is VR Bandits of the Oasis. Of the Oasis. All right, so let me use the link here. Slowest clicking in the West. Okay. Mod view. I'm going to go in here. Oh, my chat is seriously paused. I apologize. Okay, I'm going to send this out. There you go. So those are the show notes from yesterday. There's a couple of great videos. Sort of say the same thing, but I just thought it was interesting. There was just sort of two different sort of like cultural approaches to this stuff. And all about how to combat motion sickness, which is a big thing for me. I can't even play first-person shooters without feeling kind of queasy. So it was very empowering to see these videos, which are at the end of that page, and that people have overcome this stuff. And the big thing, and I'm hammering home to Bratlet as well, when you eat at the first sign of discomfort, get the hell out of there. Pull that sucker off, take a break, a glass of water, walk around, get some air, ginger ale apparently, which would be smart. And that is going to be my approach to VR from here on in, because Baz really wants to pursue that side of stuff. So, and of course he has the VR PC up in his room, and it's now set up in his room. Wait, how did that happen? I just lost my entire VR setup. Still, the lines are cleaner in here because there's one less set of cables, because they have the little sonar things, or whatever it is that's tracking them. So he set it up. I played Beat Saber the other day, and I was fine. Absolutely fine. But after we played the game and I looked around a little bit to see how it is, I went, and I took it off and I stopped. But I think Beat Saber is a great start. It's also exercise. So yeah, definitely consider playing with that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was somebody yesterday said, I got a bunch of Arduinos. What do I do with it? Go on Instructables. Instructables has the most amazing stuff. And if you want to design stuff and just try stuff out without getting your hands dirty and without having to buy an Arduino, go check out Tinkercad. Because Tinkercad has a whole Arduino section where you drag and drop components and the Arduino board itself into a design sketch, and you can actually run it as if it's like just a virtual Arduino. So you can try stuff out with that. Yeah, Fusion 360 is free to students. It's basically free if you want. I use it whenever I can. There's a couple of things I really need to do a deep dive into Fusion 360 or maybe something else, some other 3D modeling software. I was playing with Maxon's Cinema 4D for a while, but it's not really designed for the 3D printing side of stuff. Fusion is great for that, and I should probably master that, and I haven't. So I think I might do like a full immersive dive straight into a full-on course of some sort for that. Oh, speaking of courses, I signed up. No ADHD here. Squirrel. That's why I have the squirrel cam, right? The whole point is to point out that the Tech Bandits is all about bouncing around all over the place. Try to keep up. So I grew these mushrooms the other day. I was given this wonderful... It's sad when you get to a point in life where you are content after Christmas when you receive 2 new shirts and a box to grow mushrooms in. And I grew this little mushroom kit and was blown away by how, you probably saw a little video I put out, but blown away by how fast these things grew. And so I thought, well, I want to know more. And then I went, and I saw that the Odin had a whole, like, real thorough investigation into growing mushrooms and all the different things you need to know about maybe cloning the ones you get from the grocery store and stuff. So I've signed up for their course, partially also because, frankly, I just want to support him. I think Josiah's fantastic. The Odin has been wonderful, sent me a bunch of stuff for free that they shouldn't have, frankly. I mean, I should have maybe paid for it, but he didn't. It was a course in bioengineering that I just freaking love. And in fact, I'm going to go back and redo it now that I've done this like 71 hours of college biology courses on the great courses. So I'm really looking forward to going back to that. But I've bought this course and kit on growing your own mushrooms. So I'm going to do some of that, and I'll bore the hell out of the kids with that. You saw a coding kit, huh? What is going on here? What do we got here? Reminds me, I need to start making shirts again. Yeah. There's my shiny squirrel moment. There you go. Everyone's got a little bit of McKay, and everyone's got a shining squirrel moment when they get distracted. Feel like a house elf. Yeah, I feel like a house elf right now too. Okay, people can't have nice things because there's always some douche canoe carrying on in a despicable way. Really? What did we get into that? What's going on here? What did I miss? Some kind of this drama. That reminds me, I need to start making. Yes, we got that. I got socks this Christmas, and honestly, was so happy. I got the best socks. I got raccoon socks, and guess who ate them while I was trying to do a 7-minute workout today? Yeah, the freaking dog. Anyone said Baz? You're very bad people. You can download low-res SparkFun manuals from their site, so you don't have to buy a full kit. Oh. Low-res? What does that mean, low-res? I mean low-res SparkFun manuals. SparkFun's great. I got a bunch of their stuff. I got a bunch of their little kit things. And then, of course, Adafruit, or Adafruit? No, Adafruit, I think it is. The Adafruit stuff is just wonderful. I did the Raspberry Pi eyes, which I have got to figure out how to attach to my robot. In fact, I might do that later this afternoon. Low resolution. I see. So it's just not a nice glossy kind of thing. Yeah, here's the problem, Pac Mom, is she also got me in trouble because my socks were rolled up in a ball under a chair. So they shouldn't have really been on the floor in the first place. So kind of not really his fault. Although I did these, okay, so 7-minute workouts. I started doing these 7-minute workouts. And I did one yesterday, I did one today. So the one I did yesterday, I'm at the standing desk because I want to try to get out of this like schlump in a chair thing, which I've been doing recently. So I'm standing, but I'm also standing because I don't think I could sit down if I wanted to, because I have torn up the back of my leg muscles so badly doing these silly squat things that they had me do yesterday, that today, instead of doing a workout, I did a 7-minute stretch, which is just basically trying to regain some kind of mobility in these muscles that I've ripped yesterday. And then having done that, I went, don't be such a wimp, and I did my 7-minute workout as well. So basically a 14-minute workout. Yeah, all of 4 calories gone. Okay. What do we got? All right. Oh, Raspberry Pis are wonderful. Absolutely freaking wonderful. In fact, the new Raspberry Pi 4, I have one. I picked one up a little while ago. Yeah, it is. It's this little baby. I can't get over it how powerful this little baby is. I just got the low end, the 2 gig version, but you can get up to I don't know, up to 6 or 8 or something. I don't know how many gigs you can get, but just amazing. It's a 64-bit quad-core Cortex A72 processor. I mean, this is faster than any computer I had growing up. I mean, and so much more flexible. And, right now I've got one of the Pi 3s just running a pair of monitors that make it look like eyes are blinking in the night. So it's it's not ridiculously expensive either. I mean, you can spend a lot on them if you want, but you know, you have the 8 gig and the 4 gig. Yeah, I just I want to try it out first and see. Running all the old 2D games. That's right. Yeah, the emulator. I'm sure Nintendo loves you for that. What is that Tuskegee Airs comic? Computer tech we have today would be given. No, I know. I would. Don't give away your eye teeth, Lady Shelley, because Pac-Bum will take you up on that. I am so jealous of what's out there now. I mean, I feel like I wish I wish I was born when Bass was, because this. I mean, yes, the world is a freaking disaster politically and such, and economically to some extent, but I I just feel like he can learn anything he wants. I mean, I'm doing a bit of guitar now, which I've never really even contemplated learning. It was just never on my list. And a friend of mine left me a guitar when he left the country, and and said, "Oh yeah, I think you'll like this." And I was like, "Yeah, I never, no, never, whatever, I'll sell it or something." But I picked it up literally a few weeks ago, well, maybe a month ago now, and every night I sit there just tootling away on little things, trying to make the song sound something like they're supposed to. Or as I would say to Jane, I've managed to ruin many a favorite song with my lack of guitar talents. Um, Holly Drescher wants to see what are you looking for as a series? Um, all the guitars, none of the talent. Yeah, I have one of the guitars and no talent. But what I fanfic of Avatar and Last Bender with his art, really? Oh, really? So Ruby Case is all of the escape room stuff is run by Raspberry Pis, of course. Yeah, Lady Shelley. That was the same for me. Well, not the Apple II. I was this Commodore 64, and the Sinclair, which I loved. God, that's Sinclair. I thought that was it. I thought we were done. Okay, Boomer. Somebody banned James. Uh, James, I'm sorry, I haven't figured out when we can do Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, by the way, is a great Tech Bandits thing, and I thank James for basically making that possible. James Gurney. And what I love about it is that it's just about creativity, right? It's just about getting the kids to come up with their own stuff instead of just being guided by whatever game or social media they're perusing. My first PC was an IBM Personal Typing Machine, 87 model, just a blinky cursor. Yeah, I had one. What was it? I remember it had a little LCD screen. That was later because that was the laptop. So I went. There were Commodore 64s. Then I think my father moved to the XTs. They would have been the 808.6s maybe, or 808.8s, and I loved them. I loved them because unlike the Commodore, I was more comfortable taking the PCs, the old XTs, apart. They came in cases that actually had buttons. You'd go, and these giant metal cases would open up, and there were cards and large amounts of fur, but because we had a lot of cats. But you could mod these things, you could build them. So I built PCs as soon as I could, as soon as it was sort of slightly affordable. All of my acting money went on, well, a huge mortgage for a 17-year-old, but went on a mortgage. My father talked me into spending my sort of year's salary on a down payment on a house when I was 17. He had to co-sign for it. Might have been 18. I might have been 18, but it was definitely within the first year or so of getting booted out of the house. And he basically bullied me into buying a house. He said, "This is the best thing you can do, get on the property ladder now." But of course, I mean, like, a teenager doesn't want a freaking house. I don't want the responsibility for it. It drove me crazy. I felt anchored by this thing. But reality is, 13 years later, when I wanted to move to LA, I had this nest egg that I just wouldn't have had otherwise. Of course, I went to LA. The nest egg was destroyed by marriage and unemployment for a long period of time as we set ourselves up down in LA. And then I got divorces and all sorts of stuff. But so that disappeared. But then again, thanks to Stargate, I mean, I'm in this house because of Stargate. Stargate has got me back on the property ladder again, big time. I should really say Jane, because I probably would have been happy just to blow all the money on stereos and robots and stuff. So, Um, what have I done? I've lost my mouse. I'm like, that's not working because that's not the mouse. That's not the mouse. David, what do you think about transparent OLEDs? Look, I love the idea, but we played with a couple of them on a show called Depart. I did a show called Departure. Am I allowed to say that? It feels so long ago. I feel like it should be out by now, but not. But it should be like news. I'm sure people already know. Anyways, show called Departure. They had in their control rooms, they had these beautiful sort of pieces of plexi that were, lit up by monitors. I love the idea of it. It doesn't solve a problem that I have. I love the look of them, but there's still a hunk of glass in the way. It's not like it makes any space for you, I guess, unless it retracts or something. But I do love the idea of using them as like it could be really fun with streaming to have something that you could have in front of you to bring up and do this kind of stuff. Like have something that you could have a camera looking through that you could then interact with the screen. I love that idea of it for sure, but that's the only reason. I don't think I'd need it in the house for any reason. Oh, look at that. I just noticed you can see my foot. That's what when my legs get tired, I do my little leg thing. I gotta be careful. I keep my pants up enough too, so you don't just get like the little plumber's crack in the corner of the bottom of the screen there. I love how this chat can have so many conversations at the same time. Yeah, no kidding, huh? You try keeping up with this. Triton Deek says, as long as you're still here, teach the young and enjoy what you have now, for tomorrow is not promised. Very wise, very wise. Most escape rooms aren't like ours. Our escape rooms are a bit more high tech. Most just run things on person controlled switches and locks. Ours are entirely automated with the pies. That's so cool. Ruby K, do you do any like virtual versions of this thing? I mean, one of the parties that my son went to during the pandemic was a birthday party, and they did an escape room, but it was one of the staff, I guess, walked around with a camera, and the kids would say, "Oh, look at that painting over there. Could you?" And then they would go off. And apparently our crowd was the most polite and the most fun. I'm sure she says that to everybody, but that's what they were told. And Baz was very excited to hear that. But they had a lot of fun working this escape room virtually. So they were, they were all Discorded together. They were all chatting or Zooming or whatever it was. But they were able to sort of confer with each other and walk this staff member through the process of getting them out of this room, which I just thought was really, really clever. So I don't know, if you're not doing that, you should consider doing it, because it's that opens it up to anybody, right? How does one join in on that, or is that even an option? What do you mean? Art by Wade, Art Bite Wade. What are you trying to join in on? RetroPie and some of James and Print and Play. You've got your own arcade. I know, Andrew South. It's so true. The RetroPie is just. I had the RetroPie running on the old Pi 3. We had a couple of games up and running on that. I just found it was such a nuisance. I mean, it's just the configuration of it was a nightmare. Now, it's a little. It's sort of emerged from the darkness of the web now, and there's some slightly better installs, I think, that you can do with that. There must be a way to turn your D&D campaign into a Minecraft mod and turn your session into programming learning. Look, T. Graupman, Minecraft is fantastic for that stuff. There's a lot of tools for Minecraft teaching how to use to do coding and stuff. I was very impressed with Unity's partnering with Lego. They have some great stuff going there, which I wish we could sort of dive into. I shouldn't say wish. What am I wishing for? Let's just do it. But I just don't know how. I think it might be too advanced to leap into with the kids right now. What am I saying? Maybe we should just do it. Well, maybe I'll just do like a play along, like a live. I'll do like a live stream where I just go through it, and the kids can sort of pipe in as they need to. Maybe that's tomorrow's Gaming Bandits. Do that, and then I'm sure Raccoon Noodles will have questions about building the PC, so that could be part of it as well. All right. So what else we got here? That's super smart. I think the one I went to for my birthday a couple of years ago was operated similarly. I love that it's all done on Raspberry Pis. I mean, someone should just be developing these and selling them. I mean, that seems smart. I'm trying to get back. Well, no, I'm not allowed to say that. going to say Baz has a brilliant idea. Baz has a lot of brilliant ideas, but I'm not allowed to tell you because he wants to figure it out himself. World Builder and Dog Friday, maybe 6 p.m. Now that my computer is running again. Interesting. I'm not sure. There's too many conversations. I can't figure it out. It's not perfect, which is why I need to be there. There's a lot of RFID tech, of course, and stuff in the rooms too. It's cool for people to be able to put item on a shelf and have it trigger a thing. Oh my God, we did with the Tech Bandits one year. I had these little Bluetooth beacons. Do I have them here? Probably in the other room. I have these Bluetooth beacons that I bought at great expense because they had to be shipped in from like Ukraine or something. I don't know where. But they allowed me to program a little Arduino app that they would put a blindfold on and then they would walk around this library looking for these beacons. And as the beacons came up would come a beacon, and then text to speech would tell them where they were in the library. And it was based on a thing called Beacons for the Blind, I believe. That was an initiative in Toronto, may still be, I'm not sure, that allowed sort of close proximity Bluetooth connections to be made, and for instructions for people who have any kind of a sight issue to have their environments explained to them. So you'd walk into a shop and it would say, oh, welcome to so-and-so, on their phone would say, welcome to this store. If you go straight ahead, you will, for about 5 steps, you will reach a counter where you can talk to the sales manager or whatever. Just that, or on the right of the male section, the female section, for clothes. I mean, it was just, yeah, it was, I was so enamored with this idea, and I really wanted to show it off to the kids, and it's, I'm sure even more doable now. But it was just, again, a way of using assistive technology to teach the bandits about coding and what was possible out there, because you never know what's going to click, right? And I think they loved the putting not a blindfold, they say don't put a blindfold, sleep mask. One of the things I learned in some, I know I was gonna give stuff away, aren't I? Gotta be so careful. In some training I did, was that, it's not a blindfold. It is it's called like an eye shield or something, because blindfold is, again, this, you got to be careful about the power of language to continue stereotypes and that sort of stuff. So anyways, eye covering, yes, it's called something else. There was a better term for it. Nightshade, maybe it was a nightshade. The kids just loved that whole wandering around pretending to be blind and figuring out where things were in the room. We also had a little, I called it the bats. Yeah, something like that. I think I called it the Babs. It was something it was the blind as a bat sonar sensor. And it was just this little Arduino that kicked off. Well, there you go. There's a great, whoever was asking about Arduino projects, it's a great one. Little sonar sensor. And what it does is it's basically like the reverse on some of those cars that have the automatic sensor detection. And all it does is just beeped at you. If you're heading towards something, it would go and you'd get a little message. And you would know, and their job was to navigate the room with this thing and with a nightshade on. So again, just blind as a bat. Yeah, ableist. Exactly. I mean, that's, well, sorry, Hallie, but that was literally the point of it, was like, bats aren't blind. You know what I mean? They're not at all. They have other abilities, and the whole point was to sort of to teach the kids this stuff. So it's echolocation, basically. Yeah. And just how the kids would use this. Like, do they use it in their hand? Did they one of them wanted to put it on their foot, sort of like duct tape it to their foot and try that. We broke it a whole bunch of times, but it was really fun. Hello, I do not know nothing about video games. Only wanted to hear your voice, Mr. Hewlett, and say that I love McKay and love your sense of humor. Greetings from Monterrey, Mexico. Oh, thank you so much, Elisa. Elisa LG, well, welcome, and thank you. Yes, my annoying voice is here for you randomly throughout the week, it seems. Do the bandits ever play, Rocket League? Lots of tactile physics in that game. Yeah, and Motion Sickness, art by Wade. Baz was playing Rocket League for a while, I think with his friends. Yeah, I think with his friends. Uh, and we played a little bit, but I just couldn't. I mean, forget VR. I couldn't do it in first person. So that's interesting though. So the physics. I tried to get them into some of the physics when we were doing Fortnite. I was saying like, what's the we got to figure out what the optimal time to jump and that kind of stuff. But invariably, if you start playing Fortnite, you lose them to Fortnite pretty quickly. So I'm sure you would with Rocket League as well. But all right, so Rocket League. At least LG, Hang. Yeah, that's it. Come in, say hi. So basically, uh, who's asking if they said something wrong? Not at all. What are you talking about? You can't say anything wrong here. Well, you can. If you say anything wrong, it's okay. Cal will just like ban you. Um, yes, I like it. Did I say it wrong? No, no, it's great, Elisa. Look. I think I understood enough of it. So I thought I would just say hi to you. I suck at Fortnite, but I try to play sometimes. Yeah, we played for a while. I'm a dad. I play like a dad basically. I suck at that. Baz wants me to play League of Legends with him at some point. That was fun. I really enjoyed League of Legends. I got to say, and it's not. Well, I guess still a lot of keyboard mashing that goes on. But am I still living out west? No, I'm in Toronto now. Water Blaster erg. Water Blaster. Good. Yes, I am on the east. Well, not the East Coast, but I'm out east now. So I'm in Toronto right now. StarCraft, yeah, StarCraft is fun. Tech Benji, StarCraft fun, yes, good gameplay. World Builder says didn't know that. Can you tell me the Twitch name? Yeah, isn't it Blue for Blue or something like that? Someone throw in David Blue's stream in there. The hot new game is Rust. Oh, Molly Bloom. Yes, Rust has been around forever. It's funny because uh, Father Ballad, Father Ballad, am I saying that right? Basically, the digital Jesuit was trying to get me on his server for Rust. Again, my issue with those games is motion sickness. I'm not really good at that. I'm sure I could probably play with the settings and stuff and give myself a hand. Um, oh right, so Wolf Pup, your dad's got a my God, your dad has like a server for every freaking game. It's amazing. Best dad ever. Have you played the Stargate mod for Star Wars Empire at War? No, I didn't even know you did. I didn't even know that existed. Really? Ah. Um, cause it's for David Blue. Get it? Cause it's for David. No, I get that. Now got it. Thank you, World Builder. Yes, I did figure that out. Plot twist. What is Wolf Pup's dad's? What is the Wolf Pup's dad? What if the Wolf Pup's dad was Alan? Interesting. If got the if part. The string of coincidence conversion is so cool. Wish I can stay on, but I must work to feed oneself. But I did follow. Stay blessed. Thank you, Chi-Tao Drake. A pleasure. Thanks for coming out. Deek. Chi-Town Deek. Appreciate it. Enjoy. Go as you say. Go and work to feed oneself. I like that. I work to feed oneself. The mod's name is Sci-Fi at War. Well, that sounds fun, Rodron. Alan, where are you? Alan, where are you? I'll have to hook you up. It's on Steam Workshop. It's your own Empire at War. It's Forces of Corruption. It's $5 only. Is that it? Wow. No, he's Stoned Wolf 81. Oh, I see. Got it. Nice. All right, what do we got? Apparently I rock. What can I say? As soon as I stop trying to rock, I rock. I've been playing The Forest with friends. Really? I don't know that one. The Forest. Huh. Go check that out right now. Go see what that is. It's always with new games that I've not heard of. I always want to know. Because if even just once, if I could get the head start on the kids, that'd be great. The Forest game. Let's have a look. Ooh. Oh, what is that? Huh. That does. What the hell was that? The Forest on Steam. This does look kind of neat. Apparently, it's not appropriate for all, or maybe is it scary? What's the premise? What's my age again? I always put in my real age because just for some reason I don't know why. Because just so they can use my data and scrape it for all it's worth. I have to scroll so far back now. 1968. Holy moly! Oh, what does that mean? Does that mean I have an appointment? Uh-oh. I've got a shared event. Wait a sec. I gotta make sure Jane doesn't have me booked for something. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm sure Jane will explain it to me. It's like coded. LBL. Okay. Oops, I just gave away the code, didn't I? All right. What was it? So view page. Let's see what we got. This is the forest. Do you want to watch it with me? Should I put it on at the same time? Can I do that? I'm not sure if I can. I just drag this into your stream. If I drag this over here. Although then you'll see all my... No, maybe I won't. Okay, so this... Wow. This starts with a plane crash. Here, let me give you the link. Let me do this. Copy. And let's paste it in here. Oh my God, I'm like an old man with my copying and pasting, I've got to say. Uh-oh, the chat's being slowed because of my slowness as well. All right, here we go. So Belly want to share this link about ableist language that was shared with me on how to avoid and what to say instead. Oh, great. Yeah, please do, Hallie, because that's something I'm very interested in. I mean, going into Upgrade Required, I had no idea how my ableism just affected all of this stuff. You know, my sister taught me, not Kate, she didn't teach me anything. My sister Moira, who's actually an educator herself, was the one who taught me about, you know, kids being kids with autism or kids with disabilities. And instead of, you know, that wheelchair kid or that autistic kid, the idea that you want to define them first as the child, and then, you know, and then the condition is secondary to that. And at first I balked because I'm old. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? That really is, it's a subtle thing. And I imagine it probably wouldn't, you know, register for a lot of people, but it has made it's helped me to just think about it every time I say this stuff. I still get it very, very wrong, obviously. Okay, Hallie, let me just, let me permit you on that. So Hallie, I'm going to permit you, and you can do you can post that link for me if you want, for all of us. We can all have a look. There you go. So that should, I think, give you permission to do it. I am very behind. Yes, Ruby K, I'm very behind. All right. You shared it already. Oh, good. All right, I'm going to scroll back up. Are we that far back? He thinks Forest is a new game. Oh, really? Is it an old game? Is it really an old game? I actually learned about data. So Pac-Mom has been learning about data scraping while taking a course on research, ethics, safety, and participant privacy. Eye-opening. Yeah, the data scraping stuff's amazing. And big data had a whole thing on it as well. So Nate's dad. Did I find that? I've got to find Nate's dad's speech because it was great. Someone remind me before I sign off to do that. I still haven't found this damn link. You posted the link. Where have you posted it? There it is. Okay. Ableist words, terms, like I'm going to copy that link address. I'm going to pop that in here. So I've got it for reading later. Thank you very much, Hallie, for that. Yeah. Just because, I mean, look, the world is changing. And I think if we get caught up on what we think should be kept the same and what should be, you know, things are changing, it's terrible. You don't want to turn to that, you don't want to turn to an old person like me, an old grump like me, an old, you know, Waldorf and Statler that just doesn't want to change because it's difficult for them. I feel like if we can make some difference in the way we speak and the way we sort of integrate people who may not fit the majority, basically, then the better. I mean, why not? And I think eventually, as we embrace that, we're going to realize that you know, while we are seen as giant pools of data and responses, everyone has individual needs and requirements and stuff. So I'm kind of coming around to that. And you know, I was, as I say, I was very resistive at first. You know, Moira and I had many a heated argument about that because I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Doesn't, you know, why does it matter? And of course, it doesn't matter to me, but it might matter to other people. Obviously, not even might. It will matter to people who are in a different situation. So we all need to learn. Learning takes time. I think the thing is not so obviously using such terms without care. Yes. But the other thing, Hallie, that I worry about is I feel like I sometimes feel like it's a bit like 1984 doublespeak, where I worry that I'm going to say the wrong thing, so I don't say anything. And I think this is something that the Black Lives Matter movement has pointed out, is that we have to overcome this fear of discussing, race and ableist and sexist and homophobic, language and, I guess, beliefs. So, one of the things I read, one of the books I read on my Burn and Learns was this book called So You Want to Talk About Race. And this was obviously inspired by recent events, both in the States and in Canada. I know Canada seems to think they sort of get off scot-free, but, we've had recently come to light a very sick Indigenous woman who was, racially, she was insulted, she was belittled, she was mocked, and berated by an obviously hospital staff that didn't understand that she was literally dying. So this was a video that was released after she died. She had enough foresight to record what was happening to her, and they weren't taking her pain and her situation seriously, and worse than that, they were making these sort of general racist slurs about her being an Indigenous woman in hospital. So, I felt that this was all new to me. Like it was something I didn't understand. So I was, and continue to struggle to figure this stuff out. And one of the things I approached was this book called So You Want to Talk About Race. And one of the things that she brings up is, she says, like, if you're a white, single, straight male today, you are, well, if you're a white, straight male without disabilities today, you are ableist, sexist, racist, and I'm sure I missed something, and homophobic. And I was like, oh, you're not going to make any friends with language like that. And the reality is, the other thing she said was, if I make you angry, think about why you're angry. And I kind of begrudgingly took that to heart and went, no, you're right, because I don't experience any of these things myself. Not that I'm any of those things mean you don't have hardships, that you don't struggle, that you don't have, to work hard to get where you get. But I have not had to deal with any of the issues that any of those other people have had to contend with. And so it really struck home for me, because, I watched the Rodney King videos 30 something years ago and went, this is shocking. Well, this has blown the lid on these three racist cops. Like, I really thought that was it. I thought you would see these odd anomalies, what I thought were anomalies once in a while. And I would just always chalk it up to some racist idiot who wanted to be a cop so he could beat the crap out of people, specifically black people. And I thought that was the extent of it, because look at this little white face and this privilege, and the luck that the color of my skin and my position in life has afforded me. So, and again, I'm not, I don't think this is about feeling guilty. This is about trying to figure out how to make life better for other people. It's not about blame, certainly from my perspective. It's about trying to solve what is obviously a big problem. So anyways, I don't know, I'm talking about the topics all over the place today. Anyways, great book. Have a read, buy it, support her. It's called So You Want to Talk About Race. And I'd highly recommend it. It will make you angry. I mean, if you're a white male, it's going to make you uncomfortable and it's going to make you angry. And there's stuff in there that I really struggle with. But if you need to sort of, I mean, I think if you're open enough to actually sitting down and getting through this book, I think you're probably going to be open enough to at least consider it. And you don't have to take it all for, you have to all as gospel, but it was really very, very useful and enlightening for me, anyways. So, all right, what do you got? Mum of autistic, so much to learn. I'm sure. Unfortunately, there is evil everywhere, even here. There is evil everywhere. I mean, again, I worry about good and evil because I feel like it's a way of distancing ourselves from this stuff. I think what we need to be aware is not that there is good and evil, but there is good and evil in all of us. That good people do bad things, bad people do good things, and I think that is that will be the eternal struggle for humankind and politics for as long as we can cling to this little planet, and hopefully we can figure out how to do that better too. So I mean, I think the point here is that there's not look, there are truly evil people and truly good people. Maybe there are people who don't ever think or do bad things and people who don't think and do good things. But I think more likely it's that we need to take responsibility for our own sort of transgressions, our own issues. So there you go. Sorry for the wall of text. Bertley's got a wall of text. So Hallie Drescher, I'm bisexual, gender fluid, identifying autistic with ADHD, anxiety, depression, OCD, and I don't know what OCPD is, sorry. But I am white, and I'm working to consciously recognize the privilege I have to help those without. Yeah, good. I mean, that's it. I mean, I think we can all have, it's not about, it doesn't matter where you are in the scheme of things. We can, I think, all look to improve our treatment of other people, whether that's related to race or ability or even just economically. I mean, I think this we can all be doing more. I mean, what we're seeing in this pandemic is a frustrating lack of responsibility being taken by governments that we give huge amounts of tax money to, which I struggle with. I feel like there is a system in place which makes all of this much more difficult than it should. So that's a whole other thing. Thank you, Hallie Drescher, for that is good to know. And congrats for looking out for your own problems as well. Not necessarily evil, just being unaware of the microaggressions that we commit without understanding that we're doing so. Yes, and I do it all the time. I always say and do the wrong things. I grew up in a very white school in a very white neighborhood. I really didn't have a lot of black friends. When we first moved to Toronto, my best friend was my neighbor, and it was this black kid who lived next door, and we got along, and it really didn't occur to me that there was any difference between us at that age. But certainly as I grew up, I would have seen differences, bigger differences. And the fact of the matter is we were neighbors. We were in the same financial situations. We were both our families were both struggling to make ends meet at the time, I think. But certainly on our way up. And but as my dad did better with his, with him being a doctor and working at the hospital and stuff, I mean, we ended up in a really nice neighborhood, and all of a sudden, oh, look at that, everyone's white. So, and it's not something, again, I would have even thought about until recently. We're now in a neighborhood, Toronto, thankfully, is a very sort of multicultural, multi-race city. So you're always surrounded by, I shouldn't say that, because I'm sure there are also, as I said, I grew up in an area that wasn't particularly sort of diverse, for want of a better word. I don't like the word diverse somehow. It seems, I don't know. It seems odd somehow. Oh my God, the chat's being paused again because I am freaking babbling on. What have I missed? What have I missed? I missed Grove Spaz subscribing to Tier 1. Thank you very much, Grove Spaz. 10 months already. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's almost a pandemic counter. Yeah, it's true. Wait, do those lights respond to your voice? Of course they do. Here's the funny thing about these lights. So they were really annoying to me. I was like, oh, that's ridiculous. The voice, it'll drive everyone mad. And then when I turned them off, I kind of missed them. There was a certain sense of power that I get from speaking and having the lights, crescendo with my own thoughts and words. So yes, they are indeed. I may be the evil that we're talking about here. Now you've noticed them, you won't be able to look away. Indeed, I give people chances, but I am careful not, FYI, get burned by the bad ones. Crap, I hadn't realized now. It's all I see. I know, isn't it? It's kind of bugging me now. I can always just do this. You could just, there you go, and then you just don't have to deal with it. Or I could set those ones to do the same thing. If people are finding it frustrating. There you go. I kind of like that, though, because I wanted to get that camera moving a bit so we can have that in motion as well. All right, what do we got? My spelling is terrible when I'm falling asleep. My spelling is terrible in general, basically. My father used to just make up the spelling of words, I swear. He claims he didn't, but I'm convinced he just made things up. Because I had the worst. I would, back in the day when you actually had to look in a dictionary to look things up. I was like, well, how can you look in the dictionary if you don't know how to spell it? Have you considered Nanoleaf or one of those 3D printable clones? I have looked, Art by Wade, when I looked into 3D printers, I always look at the cheap ones because I'm a cheap bastard. And also, it's Tech Bandit's money. I don't want to spend more than I should. So I thought, but I ended up buying the Prusa, not specifically the one that you're looking at right now, which is over there. So that's the new Prusa that Prusa were very, very kind and sent to me, which is a 5-filament system. And I've got some printing I want to do on that very soon. I have another printer, my original one in the other room, which I built. Both of them built from kits. I love the kits, just because, if you can make it more work, why not? I feel like you understand how the thing works. I would never be able to use the MMU, which is the multi-material unit, on the new Prusa if I hadn't built it. Having built it, I understand when something goes wrong, I know exactly what the deal is, or at least where the fault lies, usually with me. Grove Spaz, I've heard good things about Prusa. What are your experiences thus far? Grove Spaz, look, maybe I'm biased, but before I was biased by Prusa actually sending the Tech Bandits and me this for free, I had the original Prusa and I loved it. I loved building it. The process of building it was wonderful. The tutorials were all there. The paperwork on it, the manuals were brilliant. And I had many, many hours of joyous printing and had no need to upgrade. That first Prusa, I would still be happy with that Prusa. But I have another one now. So I'm going to set up my own printing farm. And the idea is to get Octoprint on them so people can print from afar, or get them in the garage once I have to renovate the garage in a way that it's like livable, at least during the winter and fall and spring in this godforsaken climate. But the idea is to have that set up with all of the CNC and the 3D printers. And I've got a little mini SaneSmart CNC beast, which I love. That's amazing. I've got to put the laser on it. That's the next thing. And I've also got this giant CNC that, again, Jonathan was kind enough to donate. That's sitting back there. I have to build that. But I don't want to build it down here because if I build it in here, I'll never get it out of here. And I don't think I can use it down here. I don't think I've got room to be using it. So I need to put that in the garage. But I should at least unbox it and show you some of the stuff that's going on there. Mask straps. Yes. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I did a bunch of face shields for Michael Garron Hospital up here because it's the least we could do, and it's fun. You're printing for good. I mean, it was amazing. I think I dropped off like 30 or 40 of them. That was about it. But Jane sewed some masks and stuff. Again, not a huge amount. I wish we could do more, but I had one little printer. It was before this one, and and also I the messaging was very weird. It was like they were like, we need these, and so I started printing them, and then they were like the message sort of faded for a while, and I asked my friend who was working at Michael Garron, she's like, oh my god, please, can you like just drop them on my house? So I dropped them at her house so she could bring them in when she went to hospital, because she was, she was like delivering babies to people with COVID and things. Like, it was just, amazing what she's doing. She's now being vaccinated, which is great. One of the very few in Toronto who's been done. I blame old school chat rooms for not doing walls of text. Ha! If everyone did a little bit, we'd have more than enough. What? What graphics card do you have on your PC? Oh, Rodrone, must you? That's like, please give me a nice little paper cut and pour lemon juice on it. My son, I can't remember what my son has in his PC upstairs. We built this beautiful VR gaming machine about almost 5 years ago now, certainly 4, and then he absconded with it. So I've just been using this old MSI, which I don't even know what it has in it. But it's chugging along. The keyboard died, so I had an external keyboard. I mean, it's literally falling apart. I was quite disappointed actually with the MSI. I love the look of it. It has this beautiful unicorn vomit keyboard and everything, and I thought it'd be really fun for gaming. But honestly, it has not lasted as well as I think it should. I mean, I've got an Apple Mac, an old Apple Mac. I've got a used Apple Mac. This is actually Brian 3D's old Mac that he sent to me to use because mine had crashed. And that old Mac is still kicking along great. The trash Mac is a disaster. I freaking hate it. I mean, 3D printing masks, straps, etc. You feel guilty about not doing more, but if everyone contributed a little bit, we'd be flush and it would not be a harsh burden on anyone. No, exactly. But part of the problem, I think, here was processing it. So you get a whole bunch of like cloth masks. Someone's got to sterilize and then get them out to whoever needs them. The masks were mainly for visitors. And then the face shields were for the healthcare workers. And it was nice seeing those, being used. That felt great. And I wish I could have done more. I don't think they needed them at the point that I'd done those 30 or so of them. Logistics is the hard part. Well, that's it. And we're going to see that more and more now, right? As they try to get the vaccinations out. I am going to have to wrap up at 4, just so everyone knows. It's good to hear. I take time to thank the streamers. Maybe. When they help me, they deserve that. I'm also giving back, modding for them when I can. I love to do that too. Oh, good. That's cool. A friend of mine at work got COVID and she wore a mask and face shield every day she worked. Yeah, I mean, this is it. They talk about this amazing, the Swiss cheese approach to COVID prevention, where you wash your hands. That's one layer. You wear a mask. That's another layer. You social distance. That's another layer. And eventually you have enough layers that the COVID can still get through, but it's less likely. And I think that's the best way of doing it. I'd love to learn how to mod. What are you learning how to mod? Are you talking about modding a stream? Are you talking about modding a computer? Are you talking about modding Minecraft? What are you learning? What are you trying to learn how to mod? Do I know my headset model off the top of my head? Well, I don't know, Art. Wait, let me have a look. It's the Razer. It's the Razer something Pro. Let me see. It might be on the other computer. It might say on the other computer. Let me have a look. Let me see as I disappear off screen here. It is Razer Black Shark V2 Pro. And it's kind of gorgeous. The only problem, I would say, is that because it's a dongle-based, eh? Because there's a little dongle for it, you can't use it on any other device. Like, it's not just straight, I don't think. Actually, come to think of it, I haven't tried. No, I don't think it works unless you've got the dongle. I don't think it's a Bluetooth one. And that was the problem I have. Oh my God, that's something I'm bringing up on Bandits tomorrow, is the Razer is sort of talking about maybe, God, these glasses are so crooked and so dirty. They're talking about doing this RGB unicorn vomit mask, which is really, God, it's gorgeous. Would love to do that. How about a USB switcher device? That's what I have. So that, let me give you my roaming cam right here. So that is, if you look there, that is a little USB 3 switch. And I could just switch between, oh, this one. And then I click this button. There you go. And then I go to there. And then I can click it back. And now I'm on this one. So it's kind of useful. So far, so good. I'm getting used to it. It's one of those things that's also very easy to forget. And then I'm like, why the hell can't I find the mouse? I can't wear a mask because I can't breathe and it messes with my autism. Oh, Krillin, we've discussed this before. Wear a mask. Just wear a mask. Where can I get that USB switch? Amazon. Rodrone. Yeah, it's Amazon. It's just a cheap old thing. I mean, I just got the cheapest one I could find. And it's just it basically shares 4 USB ports with 2 computers. So it's 2 inputs, one from my PC, one from my Mac. And then I have the option to share 4 USB things, but I don't have 4 things to share. It doesn't work for the mics. The mics, yeah, the mics and the cameras, it freaking hates. Don't want to switching those. But maybe you can. But I switch back and forth all the time, so I just have the keyboard and mouse in there. That's it. They're called USB switches, or you can use a KVM. What is a KVM? Yeah, that's it. You wear a mask when you're near people. That's all. Or don't go out. Okay. Modding a stream is just knowing the commands, in my case, poorly, and paying attention to chat, muting, banning people for doing the wrong thing, and being able to be willing to call people on their crap. Don't mess with Ruby J. Don't mess with her. Okay. Good God, what's your electric bill? Better ask Jane. It's all LEDs. LEDs, I mean, how much can that be? Wait till my 3090 gets here. I haven't ordered it, and I probably won't, but was that like 300 watts itself right there? All right, I work at a grocery store, and when we tell people to put on a mask, some have a shit fit. Really? I mean, my feeling is like, look, I guess there are some mental health issues that could relate to not wearing a mask, but in that case, stay at home. I mean, I don't even know any way around it. I mean, it's not fair. It's a freaking pandemic, and you just have to, if you get exposed, then you're stuck at home for 2 weeks. So you just stay at home for 2 weeks, or test out, I guess, if you can. But it's just, I think humans are terrible at gauging their own level of, safety. Basically, we're terribly bad at a sort of assessing risk, and I think we tend to have different perspectives on risk depending on whether it's us taking the risk or other people. So I went out yesterday. I got about 2 blocks away, and I went, oh shit, I forgot my mask. I'm not wearing a mask. But it was 11 o'clock at night, and there was no one around, and I thought, all right, you know what? I'll just, and so I just wide berth around anybody. When I saw somebody, I just crossed the street, and I still felt guilty because there were people wearing masks, and I think I should have been I know I should have been wearing a mask as well, but I was being lazy because I'd already walked 3 blocks, and dog was freaking out, and David, you are really Canadian, I forget. So, yeah, what's wrong with that, You got a problem? Sorry, Sorry that we're so Canadian for you. Sorry, I was at Timmy Ho's and didn't hear you. Did I really say Zed? Of course I say Zed. Because that's how it's said, Sid the jerk. I keep backup masks in my car and jackets for just those occasions. Yeah, Grove Spaz, normally they're in my pocket. But in my pocket as well are dog treats. So often I find that I'm missing all the dog treats and my mask because the coat's been hanging low enough for certain, it's low-hanging fruit for certain fuzzy demons that patrol our hallways. That's what I do. Introvert powers activate. Exactly. I am what does someone call it? My friend Jimmy Key. You should all go out and buy his books. They're called Tales from the Haunted Library. 5 volumes. They're freaking brilliant. Support a brilliant writer and a very, very good friend of mine. I should put a link, shouldn't as I do this. God, I'm so distracted. It's Tails. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you his website because he's also got a fantastic website. Crowscratch.com, I believe. Nope. Did I get that wrong? Well, what is it then? How does he? I thought it was. All right, I'm gonna look it up. I thought it was Crow Scratch. Did I spell it? It's too far away. I can't see it with these stupid glasses on. Crow. God, I have got so blind. It's so sad. I might have spelled scratch wrong. I do that a lot. I think that's it there. There we go. Okay. All right, go check this guy out. I freaking love this guy. This is a very, very old friend of mine who has just written some freaking brilliant books, is self-publishing. I want him on this stream to talk to you all about what he's done and how he's doing it. There's a story in volume 1. It's very Ray Bradbury short story stuff. A little more kid-friendly stuff, like wonderful, wicked sense of humor and stuff. But one of my favorite stories that he's written, no, it's not even that he's written, of all time, is this one called Tad the Monster in I believe, volume 1. And it's just this beautiful, I want Guillermo del Toro to make a movie of it, because it's about, I don't even want to ruin it. We should do like a book club. Everyone go read Tad the Monster. Everyone go buy the book, read Tad the Monster, we'll talk about it. It's freaking amazing. It's just, even just for that one short story, it would be worth it. You know. All right, what do we got? I haven't taken my mask off in a week except bed. Well, that's one of the things my father talks about as an old grumpy doctor, retired doctor. He wears the shield and not always the mask. He wears the mask most of the time with the shield, but he always wears the shield because he says that's the most important thing. He says the problem with the mask is you adjust the mask and then you've just contaminated it and it's a waste of space. But that said, ignore him and just keep going with the masks. What are great, and you might want to look into if you do 3D printing, is these little nets, little cups almost that you can slip into the fabric masks, and it just holds the mask away from your face. It's not as claustrophobic. There's less chance of you touching the mask and it touching your face. So, yeah, but the shields are difficult too. Look, none of it's comfortable, and neither is a ventilator. So, and glasses fog up. Yeah, the whole thing. The glasses, I can't remember. I don't think I take my glasses. To be honest, when I go for a walk, I take my glasses off. I can't. It's too much of a pain in the ass. Patrick's still working, not retired. Patrick still. What are you talking about? Patrick's still working, not retired. Patrick, me? Am I the Patrick? Hey, sort of wish I had enough facial hair growth to have that problem. What? Jesus, where did that chat go? All right, I'll deal with my masks. I'm blind without contacts or glasses. Oh man, that was something else I saw the other day while looking up Tech Bandit stuff. Was they're talking about VR contact lenses. I mean, can you imagine that? Being able to just pop a little lens in your eye and then you've got virtual reality available? And that's when the aliens come and take us all over. I had to visit my parents yesterday since my dad needed to look at my car. Wore my mask the entire time I was there. It sucked, but I'd rather keep my parents safe. They're in their 60s. Yeah. So my parents are my dad's about to turn 80. And my stepmom is definitely high risk because she's had numerous counts of bouts of cancer. And, you know, my mother is almost 80 as well. I mean, these are all people that need to be protected. And when I see groups of freaking kids hanging out, probably without their parents' knowledge, I hope without their parents' knowledge, then it just drives me crazy because they're contributing to this stuff. Everyone is. I mean, it's, you know, my mom is good. My mom seems happy. My mom seems fairly content. I think the plan is to come here for a bit next year. So that's the plan. Oh, that would mess with my head with the VR contact. Yeah, I know. But yeah, I like the idea of it. I like the idea of a contact lens for AR too. The idea of being able to pop in a lens and just have a little overlay of things. Again, to me, the killer app for augmented reality would be just something who tells me people's names and a little bit of information to remind me. Because one of my big social anxiety things is I don't remember names. I do not remember them. I can't do it. Just can't do it. Don't know what it is. I get confused. Names, faces. I cannot keep them organized in my head. It's one of my most embarrassing things about being at conventions. When I go to conventions and I haven't seen people for a long time, people look familiar who aren't familiar. People don't look familiar who are familiar. So, a blanket apology for any future convention. I'm terrible at that. I cannot keep track of people. And I meet a lot of people. Well, I used to, don't now. What am I saying? I meet a lot of the above the mask people now. Like on set, there's hundreds of people on set. But I never get that right. The names. All right, I always forget people's names. Too busy pronouncing my own name. Yeah, right. Well, you know what? I find it very hard to look people in the eye. So I find it very difficult to make that eye contact, which I think would help. And then someone said that you should repeat the name to yourself afterwards. I do. Out of my head like that in a second. Jed 10. I really want to get a 3D printer, but I keep thinking of the cost of printing material. Is it reasonably priced? Also, is it possible to recycle old plastics with a 3D printer? You can't do it with the existing printer, but there are tools. I've looked into it because I've actually been saving all of my old filament because I would love to repurpose it, even just for like crappy test builds and stuff like that. But it is a process. Definitely, it is a process. The reels of material. Bad example. Oh God, what have I done? Bad example. I ordered some of this protopasta. This is a reel of this stuff, and fairly reasonable. I mean, I think it was like $25, something like that, for some sort of like nice clear stuff. I may even have the price wrong. I don't quite remember, to be honest. But the point was, a couple of these, the price was $75, I think, in total with tax and stuff. Then there was a chunk for delivery, but then it got to the border. And the Canadian border decided to hit it with duties and taxes, all of which I'm going to have to fight. But there was a $50 processing, duties, and taxes at the border. So I will not be ordering anything from the States. I can't do it. Can't afford it. I don't want to spend my hard-earned Tech Bandits donations, thank you, on taxes and duties to a government that can't even get our freaking vaccinations out with any kind of, regularity or speed. So I just have to look for people who can deliver them here. Or I've actually started looking into how does one get into the import-export business, because I would love to have access to a lot of this really cool tech and tools that are available in the States. Can't get them here because it's prohibitively expensive to have these items individually cross the border. So if anyone's got any information on that, I would welcome the knowledge available for that. Have you ever used Wish? Yeah, Wish is Wish any good? I thought Wish was like I thought it was like a pyramid scheme. Not always. If you ever in Ireland, we should have some drinks while socially distancing. Road Drone, if we're socially distancing, I will not be in Ireland, but thank you. I don't know if I'm allowed to do that or not, but my father is Irish. Does that mean I can get an Irish passport? Just a curiosity. I'll throw that out there. There is a compartment in the Millennium Falcon. You could have made that work. I'm missing things. I'm obviously missing some of this stuff. Piggyback on another import business. Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to do that. Gracie in it. Jonathan MLH, you have 3 passports already. I know, but if I have an Irish one, then I have my EU passport again. I don't like not having EU. The reason why I loved my British passport, I love my British passport because I was born in England, but the idea of having an EU passport was wonderful because I thought you just have access to the whole wonderful, area. Europe, I think is the word I'm struggling for. Give it time, we'll be back in the EU. I hope so, Jonathan MLH. I really do. I think it was a terrible mistake. I mean, if you want to, what is it? My my friend would say, if you want a seat at the table of power, you have to have, something to bargain with. And I worry that England doesn't have the clout that a unified EU has. I worry that we are gonna get left out. Speaking as a Brit, I'm allowed to say that. And also, I want to move back to England. I want to live in Warwickshire. I want to turn old barns into maker spaces and have a pig called Tractor and a tractor that I paint pink. There you go. All right, I should probably wrap up because it's almost 4 o'clock, and I know I have to be busy at 4. So I should wrap this up. Look, thank you so much. This has been a great chat. I gotta say, I really needed this. I really wanted to talk, and I really appreciate where the many different paths and tributaries that this little chat has taken today. I really, really appreciate it. Please, thank you, Adakalas. I've been missing the chats too, Pac-Bum. I really have, my schedule's just been completely off. Both, but we've moved into another lockdown now. There's just ridiculous numbers of people dying, and it's awful. I don't know about a watch party on Sunday because I think I may have to do some Dungeons and Dragons with Tech Bandits. I'm going to talk to James about that. If James is free Sunday, I think we should do a Dungeons and Dragons because my kids have been neglected, and it's a 2-parter Stargate. So I might have to do something a little special for that, so we can all do, we can have some fun with it. Water Blaster Erg, stay safe. You too. Thank you, everybody. Seriously, stay safe. Look out for other people. What does that say? Be smart, not stupid. No, be smart. Be brave, but not stupid. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta say, I miss this. I miss these chats, and I'm glad I can natter in your various electrical appliances for a little while because it's just great to sort of roll some stuff around with you all. So Tech Bandits tomorrow. I'll be doing Game Bandits tomorrow. So if you want to chat about games and learn some stuff that you probably don't know if you're a parent, then come on by. I will be doing my usual random stuff to start. I may move back to Mondays and Wednesdays because that seems to be more popular with Think Noodles. And God knows we must do what Think Noodles wants. But I'm going to look at that. I'm also wondering about doing some earlier, like 11 a.m. streams my time, because I'd like to bring in some of the European, the UK kids and such as well, because there's a bit of interest out there for that. So thank you so much to my Patreons, to the subscribers. Thank you all. All of this, of course, goes towards the Tech Bandits coffers, which is quite nice now because I have my own work, and so I've been able to throw some stuff in as well, like Think Noodles PC cost a little more than what we got, but don't tell her that. So it's just been, it's nice to have that pressure taken off, and I feel a bit guilty that it has been. But, because the acting started up again, I was a bit worried there for a bit, and I was worried that if it continued, I would not be able to do Tech Bandits because I'd be, out, I don't know. What would I do? My God, I don't even know what I'd do for a job if I didn't have the acting stuff. I mean, I'd love to do computer programming or cybersecurity or something, but of course you need, education for that kind of stuff. So anyways, okay, I am going to stop babbling because that is definitely what I am doing. And I will say a fair and adieu and a cheerio and perhaps even, oh no, before I do that, I almost forgot. I am going to say a huge thanks to my wonderful mods. Thank you so much. Who's still on here? Can I see who's still hanging around? Anyone still hanging around? Of course, Ruby K and Cal, who I've not heard much from Cal today, but we love you anyways, Hammer. So, and Jack's not on here too, is he? Huh. Anyways, all the mods, you know who you are. Jack, Nightbot. I always like to thank the Nightbot for some reason. ZelenkaBot, Ruby K, of course, and sometimes Cal. So until we geek again, I should say cheerio, fair adieu, and huzzah! And then I hit this button and everything